It is Tuesday night, and it was another wild day on Wall Street and tariff face-offs. I'm Janice Shortle. Predicting what would happen hour by hour was getting to be impossible, so we just followed it by the hour, and I'll let Gordon take it from here.
Yeah, if this was an episode of Sesame Street, our word of the day would be uncertainty. And if there's anything companies and markets don't like, it's uncertainty.
Economists say it's the main reason why the stock market has been so volatile this week, with the Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P 500 all down slightly today. Not as bad of a dip as we saw yesterday. A perfect example of this uncertainty was the big announcement from the Premier of Ontario this afternoon, saying he was suspending the new 25% tariff on energy from Ontario that he just put into place less than 24 hours ago. He says he switched gears after a constructive meeting with the U.S. Commerce Secretary today, and that the two men have agreed to meet on Thursday in Washington, D.C. to discuss a new U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. And since that tariff is now off the table, President Trump says he is dialing back his threat to raise the tariff on Canadian steel to 50%.
Again, uncertainty. I started the day trying to figure out how these new tariffs would affect Minnesota consumers, and now we end our day with some new hope that maybe, possibly, the two sides are starting to work things out.
You know, it's hard to predict that, though, as we talked about in the beginning, because as you pointed out, and just today, I mean, Canada was threatening to turn off all the electricity in 3 states that it could control. That's how high it went.
And that was one thing I think was interesting is I interviewed an economist yesterday for a separate story, and he said there's a lot of economists that are studying this right now, and they believe that the situation, the uncertainty that's going on right now with the tariffs may actually be more detrimental than the tariffs themselves if they actually did all happen. And that was an interesting perspective because a lot of businesses and companies really want to know where their supplies are coming from, how much it's going to cost, and this is kind of really affecting their ability to do that.
Yeah, and scaring consumers is not good for the market in and of itself. Thank you so much, Gordon.